Hi everyone. Today we are going to talk about the factory pipeline that the education system has established. Next, about one rule you have to follow if you are building your own company or if you are building or leading your own organization. And another one is we will talk about one of the psychological effect, that is the spotlight effect. So we are going to start with the education system. See, uh, in ancient times, before the industrial revolution, people don't go to work like they go now. People don't hustle that much. People don't work under some other organizations. They have their own agriculture or own cattles, and they used to generate sufficient income to live a happy life and sustain in this world. Everything was going well, but then the industrial revolution came. All around the world, industries were set up. Then people realized that they needed workers in the industries. It can't run without workers, right? People have to work in there. So they set up a very good system in the society. They needed workers. So they set up the education system like this. You had to go to school, then college. In school, what are you taught? Let's have a deep insight. If you remember of your school days, just have a look, just analyze what are you taught. For a large group of children, they were given the same syllabus, regardless of their interest, regardless of their passion, of what they wanted to do, what they wanted to pursue. They were given the same stuff. Then, then they had to sit. They have to sit for 8 hours a day in a bench, in a room. They were not free. They were type of engaged, and there will be a leader of a group of students. That leader would be called a teacher, and it will follow a hierarchical structure. Head teacher, headmaster, then there are levels of teachers, there are hierarchy among teachers, then comes the students at last. There are workers who used to clean. There is a hierarchical system. The hierarchical system is not horizontal in nature, it's vertical. It shows a separation in the society. So, and if you notice, then actually you have to ask permission for everything. You have to ask permission for having the food. You have to ask permission for going to the washroom or whatever you want to do. You carry your lunch. They are actually establishing a slave, not a leader. A leader does not ask for permission what he wants to do. He just simply do it. He is not a person who is enslaved, encaged in a room. He's free to do whatever he wants. So they need actually obedient slaves. For that reason, they established this whole system. But but we failed to understand this, and we fall into this matrix each and every time because we are a social animal, right? Humans used to believe it's good if the herd is doing it, no matter what the intention is. We used to follow what the herd is doing because we fear to walk on unknown roads. You might have seen a herd of sheep used to follow the master, even if they know the master is taking them to the butcher room. They're going to be killed, but the herd is following, right? If someone among them flee away from that herd, the herd will say, "Oh, see, he flew. Oh, see, he ran away." But actually, he had the courage to run away and do something different from the herd. But but you have to understand this concept. The school system, and then suppose they have been given feeded the same stuff, they have been given the same syllabus, same resources, same assignment, not same resources, same things to do, and they introduced competition. They introduced competition. They say it is healthy competition, but I don't believe in healthy competition because whenever there is competition, you already lost. You may win the competition, but you lost in life because whenever you participate in some competition, you already lose your peace of mind. You your intention changes. You your intention changes from doing the work that you are loving. You are doing the work because you are loving. To you are doing the work to win in the race. And intention says everything. You are not doing it because you are loving it. No, you are doing it because you want to win and you want that everyone else lose. So what happened? If the students who win in the competition as well, they got first, second ranks, they got a uh, good marks, but what happens is that they actually they actually being given so-called good positions in jobs, and they stuck there for their whole life until retirement or until the age you are not able to do anything else, you are not able to enjoy your life. You have given the precious time of your youth to someone in exchange of some money, and the society tells that this is a good position and you will get respect, but respect in exchange of what? In exchange of enjoyment, in exchange of cherishment, in exchange of happiness. Does that even count? Is this a good trade? Absolutely not. And they were given good positions, but they stuck in that loop. They introduced the system of loan. You can get a lot of money and buy something which you cannot afford today, but you are stuck in the trap. You actually have to work there because you already have taken the loan, and to repay it you have to work there. You can't leave it. And this is how the whole system works. It is like a factory, because no matter what you want, how your brain works, but what happens is that you have to do the same task. You have to go through the same tests, and because of this comes the concept of inferiority and superiority. Those who performs well in those predefined tests, they think they're superior, and the others suffers suffers in the in existence of life. They think they're inferior, and their whole life becomes a mess, a hell. They forgot to enjoy. They just hustle. They just want to grow. They just want to suppress one another. It's not collaboration anymore. It's about competition everywhere. It's not happiness anymore. It's about winning and losing everywhere. It's not about experience anymore. It's about the end goal everywhere. And actually, those who wins in the race also, they also get entrapped in this system only. They fill a void at last. They feel that something, they have had got everything, but something is missing, and that is life. Everyone in the society is breathing, but no one is living. They're existing, but we can't call that life, because life is a very different concept that were lived by very few living beings, by living in their own terms of rules and laws, by living with freedom, by living, by eliminating their ego, by understanding what is the ultimate. And the next thing we will talk about is the spotlight effect. See, you always see, uh, once a group of scientists decided to perform a lab experiment on a hamster. So, for that experiment, they had to actually trim off the hairs from the upper part, from one of the upper part of the hamster's body. They trimmed it off, but after they trimmed that area from the hamster, and the scientists were looking at the hamster for thinking about the experiments, the hamster thought that the scientists actually are mocking that hamster. The hamster felt insecure. The hamster felt that they're laughing by looking at him. Then the hamster started to actually hide that area. He started to hide that area, and in that cage there were wooden sprinklers. Is it called sprinklers or sprints? And one of the sprints plucked like into that shaved portion of the hamster, and it started to have an infection. But the scientists were unaware of that because the hamster always used to hide that portion of the body from everyone looking at it. Even when he was having food, he used to hide it. He used to hide that portion. And slowly it started to develop an infection, and the infection got so worse that when the scientists observed, they actually can't do anything. They tried, but they failed, and the hamster died. This is called the spotlight effect. And what does it mean is that what does it means is that suppose you fall on a road in a public place, you actually try to stand up and have a look around because you think everyone is looking at you like that hamster. Even if you get hurt, you say that everything is okay. Why is it so? Because you think everyone is looking at you, everyone is focused at you, everyone is thinking about you. But in such a fast paced world where everyone is running behind goals, behind materialistic things, behind fame, no one actually cares about anyone else in this world. And they actually think of you. They actually didn't think of you. But you think the spotlight is on you, and some other else is think that the spotlight is on them. And by this way, you feel ashamed, you feel shy to try something new, to do something out of the box and follow the conventional path. But you have to, because it is just an illusion and called the spotlight effect. Light is not on you. Everyone thinks that the light is on us, but as soon as you think that you have no identity, you have no reputation, you have nothing, you will start to live a different life altogether. The next thing is, if you are going to run an organization, what will happen that you may hire, or in your team there may be people who are like, who actually don't, their thought process don't align with you. They actually take your organizational information and pass to your competitors, pass to the other companies, or they actually think of pulling you down. Their intention is not that good. They actually do bitching about the members. These people are like snakes in an organization, and snakes must be eliminated as soon as possible. Like they must be terminated, they must be laid off, they must be kicked off as soon as possible. Why is it so? Maybe he is the best performer, he or she is the best performer in the whole organization, or maybe because of him the current situation, your current work is being done. Without him the whole company may fall, but still you have to eliminate him, still you have to get him off your team, because in the long term it will affect you. For short term benefit you can't compromise for the long term. The more you will keep him with you, the more problem you are going to face in the near future. So you have to take these decisions. And another thing I was listening, that what is the rule of good hiring? For companies it is very difficult to hire good people. Those who work good, have a good behavior, everything. If you want to have a good team, if you want to have good, there is nothing called as good hiring, because at first you will you are never going to understand that he is a good person or not. The only thing that you have to do is you have to separate your ego aside, and if someone is not aligned with your thought process, the person must be laid off as soon as possible. You can't think about your ego that I have hired him, he must be good, or else the question comes on your skill set. But keeping aside the ego, you have you have to actually eliminate, you have to actually lay off that person from there. and and actually that's it, I guess. Is there anything else here? No. So whatever you're doing, the only secret is in that, do it with love, do it with passion, and do what you love. That is the secret of life, nothing else.